This is the 10th video in a series of 11 where I'm talking about food addiction, binge eating, and emotional eating, and I'm starting the 11th video right now. My name is Gregory Groves, and if this is your first time visiting my channel and you would like to learn more on how to deal with the emotional issues associated with weight loss, food addiction, binge eating, emotional eating, stress eating, subscribe now. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss a future video. Thank you for joining me here again today. For today's video, I'll be talking about developing a healthier relationship with food. If you do suffer from food addiction or binge eating issues, you need to develop a healthier relationship with your food. I will be talking in depth about this in my upcoming book on food addiction, which will be coming out hopefully in October or November of this year, which is 2020, depending on when you're watching this video. Okay, so here we go. First tip, avoiding temptation at all costs. So, if you have certain trigger foods, you need to make sure they are not in sight or even around if possible. There may be circumstances where completely removing these trigger foods is impossible. I have mentioned this in the past, but I do have a 6-year-old son, and I cannot cut out some of his treats, even though some of those treats are triggers for me. So, again, to help avoid this temptation, I hide his treats behind several healthier alternatives or better choices for me, ones that are sustainable for me. Next tip is listening to your body. So you might be asking yourself, I really want to binge eat right now. I really want to eat this, but am I really hungry? Is this really what I want to eat right now? Is this really what I need? Does my body really want this right now? So I have posed those questions in the past, but I do so because they're great questions to use to help you listen to your body better. Next tip is focusing on what you're eating. Do not eat numb. Focus on what you're eating, what's going in your mouth, and refuse to eat on autopilot. Notice every bite, the texture, the taste, the sensations. Also, maybe ask yourself if eating this will help me or harm me. Will it bring me a step closer towards my goals of recovering from food addiction and binge eating, or will they push them further away? Next tip is to eat regularly. Again, I've talked about scheduling meal times in the past, so just very quickly, schedule your times during the day to eat that work best for you. This takes trial and error. Again, I've talked about this in the past, but it does work. So I post my schedule on the fridge, but if you were to take a look at that schedule, there's no set specific times. The reason is if you have, let's say, lunch schedule for 12:30 and you miss it, you might just feel like you're thrown off for the rest of the day and give into a binge. So you have structure with flexibility. So what I do is I schedule between maybe 12 and 1 to have a certain meal. So that's just something that can help keep you on track. Next tip is do not avoid all fats, as all fats are not bad. You do need a certain amount of healthy fat in your diet, and these fats are satiable and will help you, if you're on a weight loss journey, actually help promote weight loss. So again, I've talked about that in past videos, so I'm going to leave it at that. The next tip is to fight boredom. Learn to fight boredom. When you're bored, what do? You reach for that snack, that treat, that trigger food. You go through the cupboards and fridge. Then what? You binge. All right, so create some ideas and activities that you can use when you're bored so you will not bored eat. Don't use boredom as an excuse though. Do whatever you have to do to keep from binging. Maybe start a program, start dancing, start exercising, do something constructive to keep you from binging. Just do not eat out of boredom. All right, the next tip is support yourself with healthy lifestyle habits. Again, these habits can be used to combat boredom. And again, I have talked about that in the past, so I will leave it at that. You can go through my past videos and you can learn a little bit more about that. Next is make time for regular exercise. So you want to create a sustainable and realistic exercise program that works for you. A lot of people will go into a bout of excessive exercise, and this is actually more damaging than helpful. So you don't want to be in excessive exercise because all you're doing is replacing one addiction for the other. So you just want to create a sustainable and realistic exercise program that works for you and that is constructive, not destructive. Next is to learn to manage stress. As you know, if you've watched my past videos, you've heard me say this before, but stress equals stress eating. Stress equals binge eating, which is a binge. So you need to learn to deal with stress in a healthier way. Next tip is to get enough sleep. When you don't get enough sleep, you're causing yourself unnecessary stress. I believe a few videos back I talked about getting enough sleep. But when you don't get enough sleep, you're groggy, you're not thinking straight, or you're thinking negatively, your hormones are completely out of whack, and you are more likely to crave and give in to a binge. The last tip is connect with others. Connect with other people who are also struggling. Connect with people who have gone through it. Connect with experts. Connect with members of a group, maybe on Facebook. Find an accountability group. Can't find one? Create one. Will these tips always work? Sadly, they won't. It is a slow, steady process. Change does take time. But the first step is being aware that you do have issues, and if you're watching my videos, you probably are aware of that. If you really are suffering from binge eating disorder or food addiction issues, connect with others and ask for help. I made the mistake of going in alone when I first started dealing with my issues. Don't do that. So I hope this helps at least put things more in a positive light. To learn more on how to deal with the emotional issues associated with weight loss, food addiction, binge eating, emotional eating, and stress eating, please subscribe now and hit that bell notification so you never miss a future video. Also look for the final part in this series next week, next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. I will answer them. I always do. And feel free to share this with anybody you feel would benefit from it. This helps me reach more people, and my goal is to help as many people as I can. Also, make sure to check out one of the videos that will appear on the screen. They will help you further in your journey. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I will see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Until then, have an awesome week, and as always, please stay safe.